and today I'm talking about how resource availability affects species distribution. This experiment focuses on the question of how does resource availability affect different types of species distribution in the Serengeti. There are three hypotheses used to test this question. The first being the water availability of herbivores plays a role in how they are distributed throughout the Serengeti. The prediction made for this question is that the closer the distance to water, the more herbivores there will be. This is because water is an essential part of all life, so it can be inferred that more animals will gravitate towards this resource. Since the question is talking solely about herbivores, the animals being studied are the zebra, impala, and wildebeest. The same hypothesis, water plays a role in distribution, is made for the scavenger, as well as the same prediction that the closer the water, the more scavengers there will be. However, this hypothesis is looking only at the data of jackals, spotted hyenas, and vultures. Finally, the third species, the predators, have the same hypotheses and prediction. This is because, as a predator, not only is water essential to survive, the river is a melting pot of all kinds of animals that might allow the predators to knock out two birds with one stone. The three predators being observed are the cheetah, lion, and both male and female. To begin this experiment, collecting data was essential. To do this, the Serengeti metadata file was downloaded as well as the software system in JMP or JUMP. Then the metadata file was inserted into JUMP. Once the data was in the right place, it was time to filter through the data. To do this, you click a small arrow towards the left side of the screen and select the box labeled Data Filter. Then, the three animals being observed are selected. In the first round, it was the zebra, impala, and wildebeest, as well as the box labeled Distance to River. Then, a graph of this data was made and analyzed. This process was repeated twice more for a total of 3 times. The second time, it was done with the jackals, spotted hyenas, and vultures, and once more with the cheetahs as well as the female and male lions. This graph represents the data of the zebras, impalas, and wildebeest with the distance to river on the y-axis going from 0 meters to 6,000 meters, and the 3 species on the x-axis. This graph represents the data found of the scavengers, the jackal, spotted hyena, and vultures. Again, the y-axis represents the distance to the river, 0 to 6,000 meters, and the species is on the x-axis. Finally, this graph shows the distance away from the river, 0 to 6,000 meters on the y-axis, and the species, cheetah, lion male, and lion female on the x-axis. So what do these graphs mean? The graph of the herbivores shows that the hypotheses and predictions were both correct, as the graph shows a downward trend in each species. This means that the closer the animals got to the river, the more of them there were. Then, the graph of scavengers did not prove the prediction made correct. Instead, this graph showed multiple outliers. The species that followed the prediction was the jackal. The other two, the vulture and the spotted hyena, did not follow a specific trend. For the hyena, the data went downwards at first and has a spike around 1,000 meters. And then went back down again at 0 meters. This can be explained by the fact that water sources can be a dangerous spot for some animals, and the hyenas don't want to take that risk. Then, the vultures had their peak at 3,000 meters away from the river. This can be explained by the fact that the same reasoning as the hyena. I'm sorry. Or because the vulture is able to fly and therefore it does not need to stay in an area that is potentially dangerous. Also, researcher Anthony Coelho et al. States that just because the population in a specific area is less dense, the nutritional value there is not necessarily lower, which can explain this discrepancy in the data and the predictions. Finally, the predators' data prove that the prediction is correct. Although the graph shows peaks and valleys going through the graph, the biggest section in each species is closest to the bottom. which shows that more populations of predators are found closer to water. In conclusion, the initial predictions made were only partially correct. The herbivores and predators followed this trend, but the scavengers did not. This information is used to come to the conclusion that every species' needs are different, and some don't prefer or need to be super close to the water. But this does not make one species right or wrong in terms of which area is best to live. These are all the sources I use, and that's it. Thank you.